Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
What's been so amazing for me with sports is I really feel that, and I felt like that has informed my politics because now I can actually talk to people who are, Republicans, been Republicans, whatever, and we can actually talk about issues without me, resorting to just name calling them.
Because you have a common experience,
right?
Kind of I don't know, sort of like a discipline or suffering or joy at
exactly.
achievement or winning or something like
Exactly. So that's been the best part of sports for me, and that's, like I said, it's helped inform my politics, and I think it's helped me be someone who can go out there, speak my mind, and advocate for something without absolutely, shitting on or dunking on or disparaging other people who have their own reasons for voting. And how can I get them to see that those reasons actually are reasons to support my candidate and not the one they did.
But it would seem that door, mostly for the most part, either through the media or culture at large, only swings in one way at this point. Yeah, so it's like it's not like a completely like a level playing field of mutual respect of like all people's beliefs or political stances.
When you were saying that about bringing people together, it was making me think about to what extent sports in this country have been exclusively claimed by the right wing as like this is like a conservative thing to like sports, to be a football fan. Like there's no space, there's no realm when it's like the good liberal baseball fan or something.
Well,
like
that's because it's got winners. And the leftists don't like winning. They just like to whine.
Well, up until now, I'd agree with you.
Right. Yeah. They just like whining and participation trophies.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. I think, like you said, it's been claimed, but I don't think it's necessarily representative of the fan base. I think there's fans that are. I think it might be a more of a representative sample of the country than you would think. But I think, like you said, it's been claimed so loudly, it's been screamed to the heavens by only one side. That I think in our mind it's kind of been flipped to think that it's just one side that are really into that. And then obviously with the cabinet thing, you get the president involved, and then it turns into a whole shitstorm. And then, yeah, like you said before, I think it's just the claiming of it that has changed everything. But I really don't necessarily think it's as far as the fan base conservatives as you would think.
So when I used to read Deadspin, when that existed, they would have letters from readers in the Why Your Team Sucks annual rundown. One of my favorite pieces. And there was this common thread where, the Deadspin kind of reader base, they're all just like good, nice liberals. And a lot of them are big football fans. But they hated themselves for watching this game. They thought that they were doing something immoral because of its abusive labor practices, its overt jingoism, the way that the fucking players are just straight up fucking dying, like taking years off their life playing this game. What would you say to them? Can you be a good lib and enjoy sports ball?
I think, of course, I think what people don't understand is like how, like, for me, sports has been everything. And it's just been the experiences that I've gotten from it, the friends I've made, the ability to like come together and fight for a common purpose. Like, I think that's something that's so strong and powerful, and it's helped inform my politics because I like being a part of a movement, a team that's fighting for the right thing, and so I think, we obviously give our bodies up. We make these sacrifices, but it's really not for, it's not for naught. It's because we love the game. We have passion in the game, and we have drive, and it motivates us every single day to wake up and go do this stuff. So I don't think you have to think of it like it's something that we feel like we have to do. Like, no, that's something that we want to do. And I think it's something that I think sports I really, really, truly believe that sports brings people together. And I think it can take it like a dangerous path if you think of it in the way that, kind of with the whole Kaepernick thing and how that all unfolded. But I think at the foundation and the roots of it is it's just being a part of a team, being a part of a goal. And that's why I really love Bernie's movement, because I feel like this is a team and where we have each other's backs and we're trying to go out there and we're advocating for the right things and we're willing to fight for it. And I think when you kind of that reminds me so much of the teams that I've been on, my football teams, my basketball teams, and that's really why I love it so much. Yeah.
So, like, if you're a fan of football, you enjoy football, you're someone who plays it professionally. Being aware of the conditions of even if you're making good money, the conditions of exploitation, and particularly in the NFL, as we know more and more about the horrendous physical toll that the game can take on you, even playing it for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
What would in your mind be a more equitable, fair, and decent, humane way to structure the NFL and the way contracts, players, and the relationship to owners and the team in general?
Yeah, well, our CBA is going to be up in 2021, so all the the executive committee, people that we as players on each team kind of voted to have representatives at these contractual negotiations and everything, and all that stuff is going down now. I think they've proposed a few different things, 17-game seasons and all that type of stuff. That I think it's awesome to see a lot of players are speaking out against that because of health reasons, or we want more concessions from the owners and everything. I don't know too much about all that because I'm not super involved in the talks, just being a young player and everything. But what I will say is I think that a lot of us want to fight for lifetime health insurance, obviously because of, like you said, the toll that this game takes on us, or takes away from us, really. I think we're trying to get minimums increased for basically the work. It's basically a minimum wage increase for the working class of the NFL. We're trying to get that done. We're trying to get a more equitable revenue sharing. Right now, I think it's 53-47 in favor of the owners. We obviously want to get that as close to 50-50 as we can. All that stuff's going down now, and I think we are willing as a player base and as a union, we are willing to hold out if necessary, because we really want to catch up kind of to the other leagues as far as either guaranteeing more of contracts, lifetime health insurance, just really protecting the players, because for a lot of us this doesn't last more than 3 or 4 years. So we want to get more hands in the pockets of especially the players that are, like I said, are the minimum wage of the NFL quicker.
In Nevada, we just saw the leadership of the culinary union attack Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All proposal, attack his supporters online, and then the day of the caucus, Bernie swept the rank and file members of that union on his way to a resounding victory. And that was kind of a lesson for a lot of people, because opposing campaigns like, Pete Buttigieg says, why are Bernie supporters attacking good union members? Pete Buttigieg, the guy who, if you ever seen
McKinsey loves unions. Every time they come to a company that has a union, I'm sure that the first thing on their agenda is, how do we strengthen this union?
Or if you've ever seen the famous video, we talked about it a few months ago, of Pete Buttigieg walking a picket line for apparently the first time in his life. Yeah. And just kind of walking next to this guy who is increasing his pace so he doesn't have to talk to this freak, and saying, hey, how you holding up? How's the strike fund doing?
How much money do you have left in it?
Yeah, do you think you're going to break soon? Perhaps the owners should wait a few more weeks.
Do you have any weaknesses that the ownership group doesn't know about? It's just I don't even think he was trying to help them ownership. He just instinctually goes rat mode in every instance.
Yeah.
His brain, his rat mode kicks in. And he's like, ooh, I got to find out all I can about these striking workers to crush them later.
So Buttigieg, he comes out and he says, well, I like unions. I don't know why Bernie doesn't like unions. When, of course, as Amber points out, well, it's a bit more complicated than that. Right. And as you're talking about, it's a bit more complicated than that. So I'm wondering if in your mind there are, and I understand if you can't talk about this, but if there are parallels between that circumstance in the culinary union and as well a circumstance in the Players Association where, like you say, there's two tiers. There's the working class guys whose position is more precarious, and then there's the superstars whose names everyone knows, and they get the big contracts.
Yeah, no, I think that's why you kind of have to have a diversity of representation. And I know some of the guys on my team that aren't necessarily the superstars are involved in the talks and everything, and I make sure to stay updated with them so I know how it's going. But like you said, that is something that within the union, I think you have to have that, because if it's just the upper, top, basically top 10, top 1% of the actual player base that are just in the talks, then you're kind of going to miss the worries and the struggles of the more working class players. So you have to have both, because you can't just have a collective bargaining agreement that just caters to the top guys, because they are, like we see in this country, they're very much so the minority of the actual player base.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, I do like you and wish you well, but I'm gonna be rooting for the owners, because when I watch a football game and I've watched a great contest between two teams, I just know in my heart that who I'm thankful for most is the performance of the owners. They really make it possible from their owner's box and their iron lungs.
It's interesting that you bring this up, Matt, because Will is, as a huge Packers fan, is always talking about the fact that the Green Bay Packers, his favorite team, has no owner, yet somehow it functions.
Yeah.
Somehow it exists.